In suspended form of moisture in the soil, pore spaces, it conserves water and also taps water vapor in air, supporting crops and soil life. This is how excellent ecosystem is working. That is where the beauty of ZBNF, this is natural farming. If you see here, this slide, India is 2 decades, we are going organic agriculture, 0.6%. World is only 0.5%. Asia, 0.3%. Europe, 0.9%. Even after 2 decades, we are moving very slowly. It is negligible. If you see in Andhra Pradesh, there are critical obstacles. Changing the habit of years. People are used for, as a matter of fact, our state is one state where we are using earlier maximum chemical fertilizers and pesticides. That is the habit. Now we are breaking that habit. We are working in a systematic way, taking it to the last mile, hand-holding until full adoption, reducing entry barriers, cost effectiveness, time efficient, and also self-sustaining, long-lasting. This is where we are working. That is the model we are following, ZBNF. If you see here, 16, 18, 2 years time, 8%. Now we are going 2024, 100%. Nowhere in the world this type of experiment is going on because we are having excellent ecosystem and also infrastructure. There we are having very good advantage. If we see here pillars of AP ZBNF model, commitment of state government, we are fully involved. All my government functionaries are involved. Second one, knowledge. Subhash Palikar is a Padma Shri awardee, is a great resource person, is having abundant knowledge on ZBNF, he is contributing, he is doing excellent work. Third one, extension of champion farmers. We are having excellent farmers, particularly women farmers. We are having self-help groups. These self-help groups who have built over a period of 2 decades. They are highly motivated. They are very good resource persons. They are doing that work. That means ownership of women self-help groups. This is where ICT for knowledge, tracking, traceability, and also collective action for inputs, models, marketing, and also saturation, farmers, farms, practices. This is where we are working systematically. It is giving, because of this excellent 4 pillars, we are having advantage. We are moving. We are able to achieve 8% of ZBNF within 3 years' time. Even not even 3 years, 2 years' time. If you see mega training events by Padma Shri Subhash Palikar, one time 5,000 persons, again 5,000 September, again 8,000, again 9,000. I have attended all these classes. There is a lot of interest. People are very patient. They are keenly following for 3 days or 1 week or 8 days. They are not bothered about time also. That is the interest they are showing. That is morning to evening. That is how this self-generated interest is going on in Andhra Pradesh on ZBNF. If you see here, champion farmers, we are having 5,600 community resource persons. For every 100, 1 person is working. And also 278 young agriculture graduates who are all working natural farming fellows. They are doing inspirational classes, knowledge transfer, hand holding, video dissemination, farmers field schools, and so many ways. How to teach them, how to guide them. Continuously they are doing. That's why it is a successful story. If you see here, women in natural farming, our biggest strength. As on today, 1.06 million women are 0.1 106 million. That means 1,106,000 women groups are working. And also federations, if you see, around 4,825 federations are working on this organization. We are having 10 million people in 1 million groups. Yeah. That is the biggest strength we are having. I can go 100% saturation model by using all these women. They are working as program management, collective action, peer learning, forming plans, verification, and so many activities. Once you teach them, they are very good resource persons. They can translate as it is in the field. And also if you see here, we are working knowledge, technology with community and also nature. I am a strong believer. Today, technology is very strong. And at the same time, if you use technology and knowledge to protect nature, that is sustainable, even for future. That is where in this ZBNF, if you see, knowledge transfer, e-tracking, farmers, farms, practices, and also parameters. E-database, farmers, produce, consumers. And also, tomorrow if you see what you are eating in Davos, we can have a traceability. You can go the records. That is not far away. That is the technology strength. We are working in that direction. If you see here saturation, farmers first year 15%, second year 50%, third year 80%, then it will go one cycle as a saturation. Even each farmer, if you see, first year, second year, third year, you will go 100%. That is how in 5 years' time, a village will become a bio-village. All villages, all farmers, all farms, all practices will saturate. One village already they have reached now, first bio-village, this is Kondabardi. That village has reached 100% bio-village. If you see here, lot of advantages, farmers and consumers leveraging the social capital, large scale social capital built over a period of 20 years' time, a unique ecosystem in Andhra Pradesh, and also producers organizations we are having, consumers organizations we are having. Everywhere we are involving women groups. You know, women are very committed, and at the same time, we are watching production, value addition, consumption. Thereby, food, health for farmers and consumers, income for farmers. It is an ecosystem. That is how we are working. I am very happy. First of all, people are having no fertilizer, no pesticides food. Thereby, first beneficiaries are farmers. They are feeling very enthusiastic. Their health has been improved. Their self-motivation is very high. That is how system is going on in a big way. If you see here the benefits, if you invest $1, you will get $13 worth direct benefits. Cost reduction, risk reduction, higher yields, better practices. This is where if you go, each family you want to transform, you have to spend $365. That is how we are calculating. We are going in a big way. In this, so many benefits: food, nutrition and health security, employment, soil health and water security, and also coastal ecosystem regeneration, climatic resilience, biodiversity. If you see, this is the model we are following, very steep model, Vision 2024. To start with 40,000 farmers. By next year, 3%, 1,60,000 farmers. This year, last year, 8%, 5,23,000 farmers. Now, Next year, this present year, 2019, 15%, 1 million farmers. By 2020, 28 farmers, 28%, that is 1.7 million. Next 2022, 68%, 4.1 million. Ultimately, 2024, 6 million, 8 million hectares of land. That is how we are planning. We are very happy. Things are moving in that direction. Here, existing partners APPI, UNEP, FAO, SIFF, ICRAF, BNP, Paribas, and CIRAD, IDH. They are all involving. They are all working with us. If you see here, collaborations for system-wide transformation, we need financial resources, science behind ZBNF we have to establish, health impacts. What is the impact on health we have to establish, market access we have to create, biodiversity impacts, climate change mitigation, stability standards, global knowledge center. This is the knowledge we are able to do as on today. This knowledge has to be documented and we have to use everywhere and also we have to move in that direction. That's why we need more and more collaborations. If you see here the benefits, I did not explain for all of you. Total project in Andhra Pradesh, it may cost $2.3 billion roughly, so that we can transform totally. The benefits you cannot measure today, abundant advantages on health aspect and also environment and happiness and also food security, farmers' distress, so many things we can overcome with this planning. If you see here, science behind ZBNF, soil organic matter increase, water saving, harnessing water vapor, saving in energy, resilience in droughts and cyclones, nutrient and carbon dynamics, and microbial diversity in inoculants. If you see here, recently we are doing, already started, increase in earthworm movement. Even I am very happy, there is an organization internationally, you can come and watch what is happening, how earthworm movement has taken place in Andhra Pradesh. And also presence of beneficiary insects in a big way. And also increased number of honey bees. Now we are going in a big way, honey manufacturing. That is how one by one we are going. There is a lot of advantage for honey also. Increase in birds and birds' nests. This is one more thing, if you see here, this is important thing for all of us. You are all aware how climate change mitigation. As on today, CO2, it is increasing like anything, current carbon dioxide. This is 410 particulates per million. The minimum threshold is 350. Now, how to prevent? This is only the cost-effective model where ZBNF, if you can go, we can do in a big way. In Andhra Pradesh, we are having one more advantage. We are having nearly 8 million hectares of land. In that 4 million hectares of land, we are going for horticulture. It will help us in a big way to control CO2 neutral. And also I am going in a big way, all energy will be renewable energy. Our state is Sunrise Andhra Pradesh, we named it. Now that sun is helping us to go for maximum production of solar energy. Solar energy is very cost effective today. Only there is no storage. We want to convert all vehicles into electrical vehicles. Thereby, I can control total pollution. This is where things are happening, how to change climate in a big way. If you see here, impact on health, improved health of farmers and their families, increase food, nutrition, and health security. And also, if you see here, sustainability standards. One side, our core eligibility points: chemical-free products, fair prices, significant role of women farmers, habitats provided for biodiversity, land restoration with tree cover, strong state-based supply chain monitoring systems. Now, areas if you see, fair trade, state-verified brand, and also archaeology or agroecology and standards, rainforest alliance sustainable agriculture standard, non-GMO verification, climate change standards. These are all the things we are interested to have partners. It is a new experiment. We are also learning so many things every day. There, I need your cooperation to work together. Market tie-ups, if you see here, state, national, international bodies, value addition, and also marketing. Now we are going in a big way, MSMEs. Every mandal, small administrative major village, I want to have 100 acres, 200 acres of a MSME park, so that somebody will manufacture at home, he will bring there for branding, for warehousing, for technology, and also for packing, for knowledge, how to take back. That is where we are working, so that there will be big warehouses where logistics we are going to provide. Ultimately, market will be local, national, international. We will connect logistics, either air cargo or sea cargo or railway and also road. So many ways we are working, backward integration and forward integration of logistics, even including cold chain linkage also. This is where we are requesting all of you, those who are all there, Global Knowledge Center on Natural Farming. One is knowledge, one is research, one is learning, one is showcase, one is mentoring. These are all various areas we have to do continuously. And also we are interested to locate this knowledge, Global Knowledge Center in new capital, one of the most beautiful capital, Amaravati. It is a flagship city, altogether greenfield city. It is coming. One of the beautiful cities is coming. There we want to look at this. State-of-the-art infrastructure, technology backbone, and also proximity to natural farming fields. In and around, everywhere, throughout the state, totally it is natural farming, so that we can watch, we can see, we can network, and also we can keep all the data for future. Here what I am thinking, Global Knowledge Center on Natural Farming, and innovation hub, and also promoting entrepreneurs. It may be social entrepreneurs and also other entrepreneurs, how to take this to the global community. That is the work we want to do through this center. And also you are all aware, Sustainable Development Goals. We are going in a big way. By 2030, we want to achieve Sustainable Development Goals. Only ZBNF influences out of 17, 10, there is a high impact because of ZBNF. No poverty, zero hunger, well-being, quality education, gender equality, decent work, responsible consumption and production, climate action, life on land, partnership for goals. So many things we are working. We want to achieve by 2022, 100% what UN declared for Sustainable Development Goals. This is where ultimately I want to achieve, I wanted to share with you. We are having a mantra today for all my government. That mantra is viaduct. V stand for vision, I stand for innovation, A stand for accountability, D stand for digitalization, U stand for urbanization, C for convergence, T for technology and transformation. We want to work with persistence. Then we can do anything. Here through ZBNF, I want to achieve most livable standards. Quality of air, carbon dioxide neutral, and also I want to go for dust pollution, sound pollution, air pollution, everything. And second one, I want to go for quality of water, excellent water I want to provide, quality of food, no fertilizer, no pesticides. Then I want to go for quality of power, total renewable, and communication, and also connectivity, and so many things, health, education, we are working. What I wanted to impress upon you, today we are all in an inspiring world. Technology, if you use it, it is a real time. Today, I am able to reach you. My program is in my office in Delhi, but I couldn't reach. In the airport, I am addressing you through video conference. This is where I am saying wonderful time. We are having real-time governance. Through real-time governance, 365 degree, everything I am reviewing. Real-time I am delivering. Real-time I am getting public satisfaction. Real-time I am going for corrections. We are using sensors, devices in a big way. I can measure water, I can measure groundwater, I can predict and forecast everything, even cyclones, thunderbolts, everything we are doing. So, friends, what I want to request all of you, technology, if you use properly and you protect nature, both you can handle, that is the beauty of tomorrow. Then it is a real happiness for every citizen. Ultimately, I wanted to provide happiness with quality of life. So I need your cooperation. Wherever you are having knowledge, we will work together to make one model for global community. With this, I am thanking all of you. I really appreciate Tripathi in a big way. He is working for this cause. And also so many friends are there. I am sorry I couldn't come, but in course of time we will meet, we will work together. Thank you, Ananda.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Mr. Naidu. We are delighted to be partnering with you along this absolutely outstandingly magnificent journey. And I can't find enough superlative words to use for what is happening in Andhra Pradesh, the transformation that is unfolding right in front of our eyes. And I can assure you that we will walk the talk with you all throughout till we get to completely system scale transformation in Andhra Pradesh, and also learn from it. And also on behalf of UN Environment, I can assure you that we are working with key visionaries like Pavan Sukhdev, President of WWF International, Ravi Prabhu, Deputy Director General of the World Agroforestry Center, and other colleagues to help establish the global center, knowledge center on natural farming. We have a concept note already, and we'll be talking to everybody else in this room and beyond to see how that can become a seat of learning for the new world. And I'm so delighted that the government of Andhra Pradesh has offered both land and support to set this up in the new capital, Amaravati, and that will be a fantastic thing. So you have my assurances that on behalf of UN Environment, we will collaborate with other partners in support of the government of Andhra Pradesh and your vision to make it happen. But let me stop there and start by inviting His Excellency Mr. Luhut Panjaitan, the Coordinating Minister of Maritime Affairs from Indonesia, both in terms of my gratitude to him for starting all this in Indonesia 3 years ago, but more importantly in what he's doing now. He's taking the leadership to become the champion in Indonesia to replicate what is happening in Andhra Pradesh and take it beyond the shores of Andhra Pradesh and India. So, Luhut, the floor is yours.
Good evening, Chief Minister Andhra Pradesh. I'm Luhut Panjaitan. I think remember we met first time in New York.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. So one of our minister, my colleague already went to your place and he come back to Indonesia and he told us the story, the progress of your program over there. So I will send our team to have a look at this successful, and then we like to copy this model to Indonesia. And I think our team next month gonna be quite big team to see or to study, to learn how do you do over there. But let me back again to Pa Satya. I still remember again back to like nearly 4 years ago when we started this program. But I think this is, at the time I was very, just try to be nice to Pa Satya. But I didn't believe it's going to be like this today. But this is, I think, the big achievement of Excellency Satya. And he has done something which is, I think, could bring some, global changing on the natural farming. Indonesia has like 39 million farmers, which is, I think, very huge. So we're going to send maybe from 6 districts next month to Andhra Pradesh. So I do hope that you can also help them and brief them and train them to maybe a short period of time, so then they can bring this technology, this know-how to Indonesia, then we can improve the quality of our farmers in Indonesia. I can tell you right now in Indonesia that the government of Indonesia give a very huge attention to, to groom our farmers, because what we have today with fertilizer, and which is very, very bad. We don't want to do this anymore, because number one, from the health issue, number two, from the cost. We like to reduce the fertilizer industry because we still have big, huge plan to have a new fertilizer plan. And while you have already so successful in Andhra Pradesh, maybe we can copy this one and then we can reduce this one, and then also health, in terms of health, like you mentioned earlier, also could help us a lot to reduce our budget for the health, especially in the rural area. That's, I think, my comment, Pa Satya.
Thank you, Pa Luhut. I can assure you that Andhra Pradesh is one of the most hospitable of places your team will visit. They'll be well looked after by the Honorable Chief Minister and his team. I can tell you from my own experiences, I've been there quite a few times. So they will have a great learning experience, and after that we will discuss how best to develop a joint program where the knowledge exchange can continue. With that, I would like to invite our co-host, the CEO of the Green Climate Fund, Javier.
UN Environment is one of our trusted partners. They are a main supporter in delivering our readiness program. That is to say, plenty of support in designing, implementing, and bringing a pipeline of projects through national adaptation plans. Also through UN Environment, we work together in funding proposals to a number of countries. And particularly today, in a practice of natural farming that brings systemic change into a country that comes into the heart of the GCF. The GCF was created to promote low emission and climate resilient development pathways. Systemic change, transformation, scale. I hope with that you understand our interest, our support to the initiative of the zero budget natural farming. Not only in terms of scalability, the scale is there. I mean, in a country with India, needless to say. And by the way, throughout the statistics that we have seen, we would be very happy to consider any proposals you might feel to bring to the GCF. Both in terms of technical assistance, you see the need for a component of grant, but you also see within the zero budget natural farming, you see the type of adaptation that brings flows back. This nature of adaptation always being grant-based, we need to go well beyond it. Adaptation brings revenues back, higher yields, low cost. It brings and it proves soil fertility. So this is the type of projects that we would also like to support. We're talking about the scalability, that's at the core of the GCF, but we also bring the notions of replicability. At the GCF, we serve more than 140 countries, 140 developing countries out there. Very pleased to hear from the minister the intention in replicating. Please again, our invite from the GCF to consider our support. And in many other countries as well. I would like to emphasize that we are, and our most interest resides in the climate benefits, as you can imagine. So you have seen a number of benefits of the zero budget. Climate benefits are there. We've seen them bring them along resilience into the climate. That's at the core of our interest. But if I may go further, and for that I would like to look at many of our partners are here as well. I see WWF, BNP. I've seen on the presentation FAO as well. As we're inviting our partners to bring in this type of projects. But very specifically, let's please look at those areas and regions most affected by climate change. Can we replicate the zero budget natural farming? Can we replicate those into those areas most affected by climate change, into the vulnerable geographical areas that are affected by climate change? That's our job. That's what, if we come here as a partner, we would be asking you, co-partners and others, to bring in those type of projects to the GCF. There is and with this I finish, but the Chief Minister, and within his presentation, incredible, that $1 of investment, $13 of benefits, that was amazing. But it was also great to see there is a component of knowledge, technology. We're seeing e-tracking. We're seeing an interest in both the certification methodology as well as the value chain approach. Perhaps an element of innovation, perhaps blockchain technology. Again, also at the GCF, we're happy to see any of the innovation in our projects. We're happy to support with technical assistance. With this, I finish thanking you all and thanking you, Chief Minister. Pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Javier. Thank you very much. I know that Joost has to leave. You want to make any brief remarks before you leave?
Yes, please. Yeah. Thank you very much. Joost Oorthuizen, the CEO of IDH, Sustainable Trade Initiative. We are very proud to be a partner to your amazing project, Chief Minister. I have heard it now several times, but it keeps on impressing me. So it's really an impressive story. We work with you on better cotton farming in your state. Better cotton has now already reached 20% of the world market. So it's a very successful sustainability standard, and many of the better cotton farmers are in Andhra Pradesh. We work in your state with spices and horticulture, and we'll keep on doing that. On top of that, we are developing a global standard on verified jurisdictions in terms of sustainability. It's called the verified VSAs, verified sourcing approach. We're working with the Mato Grosso state in Brazil and a few states in Indonesia. And I would love to see if we can work with Andhra Pradesh as well to make it a prototype to the world and show the power of Andhra Pradesh to the world as a state that is taking responsibility in terms of zero budget farming. And finally, two investment opportunities. I was talking to Manish Kumar from Fishing Company. They have big plans to invest organic tilapia farming in your water reservoirs in Andhra Pradesh, and I know he has been talking to you. And that's a very exciting program. It's a $200 million investment, and we are very keen on the outgrow part because they want to work with small fishermen to grow the tilapia, and it's all organic farming. They're the biggest tilapia trader in the world, and I think we can really make a big difference there and create a lot of jobs and investments in your country. And we set up a fund for that. It's called the Farm Fit Fund to de-risk first loss, take first loss positions, and have a U.S. second loss commitment of $1 billion into these outgrower schemes. So we are seriously looking with them to see if we can do something there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Joost. I think that will help Pavan go back to eating fish, because if it is organic, he doesn't touch it. So I think we'll get him back to making. Pavan, the floor is yours.
Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu, sir, it's a pleasure to again connect with you. Friends, Minister Palut, great for you to be here with us and for Indonesia to be taking on the new mantle of this leadership. I think just to hear this, I feel happy to have come all the way from India to make it to this very cold place, which is truly inhospitable in some ways. I want to talk about health because I was very pleased when Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu brought up the issue of health. And I want to pick on a small icon where you said one of the big challenges was the changing the habit of years. And the icon that he used in his PowerPoint was an image of a cigarette. Now this is very appropriate because you may not be aware that more than 7 million people die every year as a result of cancer, which can be traced to cigarette smoking. And the health costs of cancer are absolutely massive. But what is sad is that according to the Global Nutrition Report of 2016, the single largest burden of disease is our own diets. It is the food we eat that is causing the ill-health. It is even bigger than the cost of cancer. And in this, and Palut is nodding here, and included in this is some of the components like diabetes and obesity. And diabetes alone, as you know, is something that affects more than 425 million people now, with health costs exceeding $850 billion per annum. How do we get health right if we don't get food right? And I think this is the number one health dimension that Chandrababu Naidu, Vijay, and your team in Andhra Pradesh and the farmers of Andhra Pradesh have shown us what can be done, is to create healthy food. 4 times that I visited your state, on each occasion you take me to see some people and I ask the same questions. And the question on health gets the question on why do you do this gets the same answer. So we do it because of health, because soil health, our health, your health, and so on. So this is clearly an awareness that the farmers have, which is one absolutely important part of the success of zero-budget natural farming. But there are other health dimensions as well. There are foodborne diseases, which are, for example, the use of antibiotics for cattle, and the development in us of antibiotic resistance. Those of us, not me, who eat meat, will have that problem. There are also occupational health issues because the use of pesticides and the misuse of pesticides can result in farmer ill health, and pesticide poisoning is huge. In fact, even wider, generally, the passage of those pesticides into our diets and the impact on farmers and on people generally is one of the 2 biggest drivers of endocrine disruption. Now, we have not yet done a study on Andhra or on India, but in European Union, a study had been done on endocrine disruption. And the cost of endocrine disruption in the European Union, a study done by New York University, is about 150 billion euros per annum. That is absolutely humongous. That is staggering, and something that we in the developing world should be alert about, because in our case, some of these costs may be hidden, they may be imminent, and we may not recognize them until they hit us. So we really have to look at this. Endocrine disruption leads to neurological and degenerative issues, problems, reproductive disorders, and so on. The final point I'll make is to do with climate health, because it is not just human health on which ZBNF makes a difference, but also climate health. if we look at traditional climate analysis, you will see numbers like 17% is the impact of agriculture on climate and so on. But actually that's not true, because that's taking a very narrow gate-to-gate approach on agriculture. When they say 17%, they're talking about the impacts of agriculture on the farm. But that's not what the food system is, sir. The food system is much more than that. It is the forest that was destroyed to create the lands on which the cows grazed, which were then converted to meat, which was then produced in maybe Brazil and sold maybe in Europe, here in Davos, who knows, and the transportation costs and the emissions of transportation, and then of course part of that is wasted and the emissions from waste and so on and so on. If you account for all of that, the value chain approach of the food system, the answer is more like 47 to 53%. So half of the emissions, the so-called anthropogenic, the human-related emissions of climate change, are actually coming from some aspect or the other, whether it's deforestation, processing, agriculture, transportation, waste, etc., of the food system. So we cannot solve the climate crisis, sir, without solving the food system. And I think this is the second lesson that we learned from ZBNF Andhra Pradesh, which is that it is so much less impactful on climate, and it is such an important part of the overall solution that we seek towards climate change. One dimension of climate change, which is preventing climate change, but it's also about adaptation, which means preventing damage to human communities, especially poor communities, as a result of climate change. Because what happens when the climate changes and when climate breaks down is that storms and cyclones increase in intensity and frequency over time. And the resilience of crops is very important to ensure that the incomes of farmers is conserved. And I have seen a lot of visual evidence and anecdotal evidence coming from Andhra Pradesh. In fact, Chief Minister, you were stuck and your state was deeply affected by the cyclone Petai, which hit the coast of Andhra Pradesh late last year. And cyclone Petai had many damages, and crop damages was one of them. But I was pleased to see that the ZBNF cropping areas, through visual evidence, were less affected than those which were not. In fact, I remember tweeting out one image of a master farmer. And you know, one of the interesting things about Andhra Pradesh example is that most of the master farmers are women. So this was a young lady taking a selfie of herself, showing her field and the field next door. Her field is ZBNF and the field next door is non-ZBNF, which was flattened and her field was standing. And I could just see the pride in her face. You know, she was looking serious but proud that she had achieved something. And ZBNF had enabled her to achieve that. So I think the adaptation side is equally important. I could go on for a long time, but I won't, Satya. I know there are other speakers that you have lined up, and thank you for doing that. So thank you for your attention, and congratulations once again.
Thank you, Pawan. Thank you. You're an amazing champion. You've been there right from the beginning. Pawan is on the boards of the Tropical Landscape Finance Facility, a founder in very many ways, and is also on the board of the Sustainable India Finance Facility. So he's been a supporter, and I say this with a lot of pride. He always works pro bono for us. We've never paid him a penny. So thank you, Pawan. Thank you, Pawan. No, I mean, you see, a lot of people support you, but thank you. Thank you you've been doing it for almost a decade now, so thank you. I would like to, before you leave, Pa, I would like two people to speak before you leave. Bertrand Piccard, who's our UNEP Goodwill Ambassador, but more importantly, I think there's great similarities between the Honorable Chief Minister, yourself, and Bertrand. You believe in making the impossible possible. Bertrand, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Satya, Mr. Chief Minister, Excellencies, dear friends. I'm invited here as a UN Goodwill Ambassador, but I think I will become an Andhra Pradesh Goodwill Ambassador after what I have heard here. Absolutely amazing. It's interesting to look back in history and to see that all the big exploration feats, all the big exploits, achievements were absolutely impossible before they have been done. All the scientists have been proving what was impossible. Flying was impossible. Going on the moon was impossible. Flying around the world on solar energy was impossible. And natural farming is considered to be impossible by so many people. today we have the proof that it works. And what I'm retaining from this morning is the fact that individuals with a good team have more power than collectivities. If we wait to have governments making international agreements in order to have global decisions, we can wait forever. It will not work. But if we work on the local level, if we have an individual, like the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, things can move. And this is what we have to tell to other people. Stop to wait for international agreements. Work on local level, regions, cities, corporations, because this will work much better than we think. And what we can also retain is the fact that sometimes a politician cares about his people. He's not only interested about re-election, he cares about his people, he cares about well-being. This was in your speech a word that I don't hear in the speech of other politicians. Well-being of your people. This is absolutely fantastic. So we see that at the end, people who really care about others will be more successful, they will be remembered by history, and they will show the example to others to go into that direction. So I will try, when I come to Andhra Pradesh, Mr. Chief Minister, to come also with the Swiss head of farming. Because here in Switzerland, it would be wonderful to also implement this type of spirit. And I would like also to include what is going on in Andhra Pradesh to the 1,000 solutions that the Solar Impulse Foundation is now selecting to prove that protecting the environment is profitable. So see you soon, and thank you very much for the example you showed to all of us.
Thank you. Very nice of you.
Thank you, Bertrand, and congratulations, APZBNF, for being included in the 1,000 innovations. I can tell you their standards are very exacting. He has 1,000 innovations. He's not even at 50, and he's been looking around the world for a long time. So that's how difficult it is. So congratulations to the Chief Minister and to the team. Let me invite Antoine here, who's, as I call him, a friend in need is a friend indeed. And he's the man who sits on the board of management of BNP Paribas Global and has shown amazing foresight and fortitude. Now, every portfolio manager, I was in Val d'Isère, France, speaking at the Napoleons, delivering a keynote, and I said, what I see, the biggest thing is that a bank that runs into hundreds of billions of dollars, the biggest bank in Europe, is telling its portfolio managers, when somebody comes to you for a loan, here is an SDG card. You will look at the SDG card and say, what does this do for the SDGs? That's the metric by which we are going to judge every application that comes to us. That's truly amazing, Antoine, and thank you for leadership. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Satya. I'm very proud also to have the floor just after Bertrand Piccard, because we are a partner of the Solar Impulse Foundation. And of course, I'm very happy, Mr. Chief Minister, to see you again. I was very impressed last year by what I saw in Andhra Pradesh. We are a very proud partner of Andhra Pradesh ZBNF. We believe that you are doing something which is bringing something not only to Andhra Pradesh, to India, but also to the world. I believe that banks have been created in the beginning to help people to solve their problems. And banks have been created to bring something to well-being. but unfortunately, it's a sophisticated human activity, and in sophisticated human activities, you sometimes lose the purpose. So you continue to do things you believe that are right, and most bankers, I believe, do things that are right. But at a certain moment, there are new problems and new solutions for the society, and then you need to find new solutions. It's obvious today that we need to finance the SDGs, and that we need, and that at the same time, investors want to do sustainable investments because their clients want sustainable investments. So there is a real need, but there are not enough possibilities of investment that will really give the investors the idea that they are bringing something new to the society, that they are really financing game changers. So it's important to have the game changers. And suddenly, when you are thinking about this, you meet people who are creating full new ecosystems where they put everybody around the table. They put around the table the farmers, they put around the table governments, they put around the table the technology, they put around the table off-takers, they put, and finally, there is a room for a bank there, because it's suddenly meeting such people gives us something which is extremely noble for us. So it's a change for us. So I want to thank you very much, because we try to bring you something, but you bring us a lot. Because at the end of the day, so we are very grateful to Satya for introducing this bug in the financial world. We are very grateful to Mr. Panjaitan for making the TLFF, because we are talking about finance, so we need to prove that things are working. And the TLFF is a fantastic example of something that is working. And it did pave the way. And now we are really very grateful to be in a position to contribute, to mobilize investors for this ZBNF project, which is a real game changer. So thank you for this. Thank you for having us on board. We are really happy to do this. With you together, we are creating a new kind of finance, which is blended finance. We call this blended finance. It's a finance where you don't start from the finance. You start from the project. You have everybody around the table, and everybody is doing his job. And finally, I just want to tell to Vijay Kumar that at BNP Paribas, we are not only a partner of UNEP, we are also a partner of UN Women. And I know that all those new ecosystems are ecosystems where the women play an important part. We have a French poet who wrote that the woman is the future of the man, and it's important also that we can do this thanks to your projects. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Antoine. You want to say, please, Pa?
Before I leave, I think I don't know how to thank you to Pa Sati and all our friends, but I can tell you that really make me so happy today, Chief Minister, because I understand more and more what you have been doing in Andhra Pradesh, and I think we're going to move very quick. Once I'm back to Jakarta, if not back to Jakarta, I will phone from here to Jakarta today to prepare everything for to replicate what we are successful doing in Andhra Pradesh. And I believe also this could help the poverty in Indonesia, because we are working very hard to reduce poverty in Indonesia. And also about environment, again, we're going to do this very much, because we have like 8,000 kilometer coastline. So you see, Indonesia is the largest archipelagic country on earth. Our population 269 million. So we are facing this kind of problem. So again, Pak Satya, thank you very much on behalf of the government of Indonesia. You will see soon that we're going to move very fast. And thank you also for the project in Jambi that you are already 96 million. 90
million already done.
Yeah, already done.
130 million is coming from Javier.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much, FS. We'll see you soon. And there are so many projects over there. And the spirit of Indonesia today to improve, to make Indonesia better in the future is there. And we are moving very, very quick and with a very strong commitment and strong confidence and strong support from the government of Indonesia. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I would now invite Wendy Diamond, who's among many other hats she wears. She's the founder of the Women Entrepreneurship Day organization. A very humble name, but they're in 144 countries. And she will share her insights as to how we can collaborate in this amazing venture. Wendy, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Minister, for listening to me. And thank you, Satya. You've been an angel, and we are so excited to become partners. I started Women's Entrepreneurship Day 5 years ago when I ended up in Honduras on vacation, not realizing it was the murder capital of the world. I ended up volunteering for an organization that gave microloans to poor women. I was supposed to spend 2 hours there. I ended up spending 3 days and fell in love with all the women that received these $100 microloans. And I realized from that time being there that these women, and one woman specifically was 72 years old, her daughter died, the husband ran off and left her with 3 little kids. And she opened up a pulperia with a little can of Coke and like two toothbrushes and toothpaste, and was able to afford to put her kids for $1 a month to school.
There are already 524,000 farmers.
Woohoo! Ah, that's okay, I'm kind of loud. Anyways, what I did is I came back to New York and I realized, should I stop? Or?
will send even stronger team now to
Yes,
visit.
Pa.
I will call the Bupati.
Yeah, kindly, Pa.
Okay.
No. Thank you, Pa. Thank you, Pa.
Oh, there you go. All right, thank you, Satya. Okay, so anyways, when I realized that, I went back to New York and I contacted Governor Cuomo of New York State and Mayor de Blasio, and I asked them, can we create an official day in the world? So on November 19th in New York was the first state in the United States to officially proclaim Women's Entrepreneurship Day an official day. And then I went around the world to everybody I knew and I said, who in your country is the greatest person to represent our movement, to empower, celebrate, and support women in business to alleviate poverty? So that's how we're now in 144 countries in the world. We've got Alanud Altani, who's a global leader here this week in Davos in Qatar. We've got the Al Saud family, and we've got here today, woohoo, our San Francisco ambassador, and everybody on November 19th around the world brings governments, business leaders, and civil society together to collaborate to find solutions to uplift women in business. Because when women earn money, 90% of that money goes to educate their children and provide for their families. When women earn money, they have self-confidence and dignity. They don't allow human rights violations. And so to fund our movement, I got back into business. I'm an investor in AI, robotics, blockchain. I am proud to say one of my companies is called Producers Market. We put organic farmers on the blockchain, verify the supply chain, finance them, and put them direct to retailers. We did a test a year and a half ago. We put on avocado farmers from Mexico, and we've already done $17 million of sales of avocados. So we are excited to partner with you. We want all 6 million of your farmers, because what our platform does is puts all of these organic farmers onto the blockchain, verifies everything, gives them access to more retailers to sell their products, but what this does is gives them more money, and it also provides organic food at a less cost, but they can control everything through our platform on their mobile phone. So they might not have bank accounts, but we're gonna provide them everything so they can do everything in their own hands. Thank you.
Thank you, Wendy.
Madam, thank you.
Thank you so much. I now want to invite Dr. Ravi Prabhu to tell us a bit about the science, because everybody is so excited about what is happening on the ground, but how are we pinning down the science? So, Ravi, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Satya. And Honorable Chief Minister, sir, thank you very much for your inspiring speech as always. In listening to you, and many of us have listened to you many times, one of your favorite phrases is, "We will do it in a big way." And I think you always live up to that. I can remember what you did to the city of Hyderabad before the state was split. In fact, having a hometown in Bangalore, I was not very happy with your success in Hyderabad. But now I'm really looking forward to what you're doing. Satya's asked me to speak about the science. I'll speak very briefly about it. But let me preface that because to introduce my organization very briefly, we are a science-based organization using science to deliver solutions and options into development, particularly into agricultural development. And we were really invited by the government of Andhra Pradesh, by Mr. Vijay Kumar, Mr. Rajshekhar, Satya and others, to avoid what has now become a plague. And that plague is fake news. So they said, no fake news. We want to have the evidence. We want you to have the freedom to investigate everything you think is important and give us the results. And we're in that process. The baselines have been put down, even as we speak. And we'll be able to tell the world, with the numbers that don't lie, what's happening to soil organic carbon, what's happening to farmer income, what's happening to gender, what's happening to adoption, all of that through the course of this year. And then we want to go further and look at, what is the science actually of natural farming? How can we understand the principles so that we can change agricultural education? And with that, I want to do a segue into your knowledge capital, Amravati, and the knowledge hub over there, which I think is really laudable. We have all understood that in the past, India, but also Andhra Pradesh, has benefited from the Green Revolution, and now ceases to benefit from it if we continue that way. But at the time, it was the best thing to do, and that's why the people of Andhra Pradesh and the people of Punjab helped to feed the rest of the country. But we've realized that we can't go on. So that was a revolution. We are now talking about the fourth industrial revolution. You, sir, introduced that into what was then Andhra Pradesh. We're talking about an energy revolution and a shift to renewable energies. I'm going to propose to you, sir, that Amravati becomes Sin City. Not Las Vegas, but Sin spelled S-Y-N. Because what we lack at the moment is the synergy amongst these various revolutions and technologies. True transformation of systems is only going to come when we can bring the food system and the revolutions we're talking about there, agroecology and a revolution in agroecology, together with the energy revolution, the governance revolution you're talking about, real-time governance and representative governance, into one system that integrates. Nobody has done this so far. And I think with your vision of Amravati as a greenfield city that is a city of the future has to be about integration. Our colleagues over at GCF talk about paradigm change. And I think that is the paradigm change we're looking for, that integrates education. Vijay Kumar knows what I'm talking about because he was briefly Vice Chancellor and had a challenge changing the education with all of these other systems. And as you move along this path, in our own small way, we'd be very happy to be partners, continue to be partners. We have been partners in Indonesia, in the TLFF, in the CIF, and we will continue to be partners on this way. Congratulations, sir, and to your team. We are proud to be counted as partners.
And I can confirm that ICRAF has been an amazing partner in this journey, fully believing the impossible, fully trusting what they see, what is happening, and of course bringing their research strengths into every conversation so that we are not believing each other blindly, because as the popular saying goes, when the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into the ditch. So thank you for being the knowledge partner that questions and finds the truth. With that, let me invite Bastian, who's the CEO of the Forest Trust, to say a few words.
Thank you, and thank you for hosting us here. Dear Chief Minister, dear guests, I'm very impressed to see what has been achieved in so little time. We are changing our name after 20 years of existence as the Forest Trust. We are becoming Earthworm Foundations. One of the reasons, as we've been always striving to protect forests and to work with commodities and value chains to transform them for the better, we've realized that actually things change from the soil. Things change when farmers have in their hands their own destiny in terms of producing wealth at the lowest possible cost and for the multiple benefits of the environment, food, energy, and livelihoods. What I want to say is, the only thing that I see is the desire to work and participate and contribute with the experience that we've acquired over the years in value chains, working with farmers down on the ground in Indonesia, in India, transforming the way commodities are produced to accelerate the dynamics and bring the corporates, the companies that buy those commodities to support that movement. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bastian. And I know that the Forest Trust is a formidable force in pulling together the partners from around the world. And that will be an amazing contribution to the partnership. So thank you for being here and looking forward to working with you. With that, let me invite Bhuvan Selvanathan, who's the founder and CEO of Blue Number. They are a partner with us in Indonesia, and they're doing amazing work. And I see great potential. Bhuvan, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Sadia, Chief Minister. I'm very grateful to have been invited here. We are doing some work in Indonesia. The thing that I would like to probably pick from what has been said before is that we can't solve climate change until we solve food. We can't solve food until we solve identity. What we do at Blue Number, and I was involved in food security and in human rights when I was at the UN. And I was working both in New York and in Geneva with companies and at the Human Rights Commission, at the Human Rights Council. And I found that the unit of analysis was sometimes stretched. The unit of analysis in these problems is the individual. And I'll pick here on what Bertrand said. I absolutely agree. What we have here is 524,000 stories, individuals, engines of growth. And so when Blue Number confers identity, it's a scalable identity that is self-sovereign, that is authenticated by the government later, at some point. The point here is to be able to get identity that can happen at scale very, very quickly so that every single farmer can become a true participant and partner with the government. That's the goal. And the cost of identity at this level is $50 for a phone. It's simply a number and an account that says, hey, I'm here. For me to ask you all to raise your hands, it requires you to just raise your hands. I don't need to know your name yet. I don't need to see your birth certificate. I don't need to see your passport. I just need to be able to count the number of people in the room. I need you to tell me what you're growing. I need you to tell me where it is. You send me the information, we'll do it that way. And when the time comes, we'll triangulate. We'll find you. When you need questions answered, we have people who can answer questions for you. But the idea of a Blue Number is to make that happen. And the most important thing about the Blue Number is that you own it. Because I see data as a wealth creator. Yes, you can farm. Sometimes prices are good. Sometimes weather is bad. But data is always worth money. If you can set up a system where if a farmer can make sure that they can feed you the data that is necessary on their climate impacts, on the fertilizers they don't use, on the offsets that they are making, on are their children going to school, then you can get the SDG indicators in and you can pay them for that data. Because otherwise you're sending people out into the field to find that data out. It's going through a process, and at the end you get a report. Get a report from 524,000 people and let the algorithms do the work. That's what Blue Number does. We're happy to work with you to make that happen.
Thank you. Thank you, Pawan. And then I would turn to Mark, who started as a skeptic, rightly so, because he's a scientist. So the first time we met, the question was, where is the nitrogen? But now I'm so delighted to see Mark in this room. He's one of the most enthusiastic supporters, and it is a healthy dose of skepticism, because that's what we need. We need partners that don't blindly agree to everything that is presented to them, who question and who present the evidence as will withstand the test, the toughest test of science. And in that, he's the chair of the International Nitrogen Initiative, so he coordinates that work around the world. So Mark, delighted to have you here, and the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Satya. Chief Minister, colleagues, I think it's a great honor to be here. I feel the scientists are small in number. The others of different views are big in number. I come to Davos asking, what is Davos about? I hear climate change big on the agenda, and I'm here to tell you something about which nobody talks about. Nobody talks about nitrogen. I say it's everywhere and invisible. It's 78% of every breath we take, everywhere, and invisible. Look across the Sustainable Development Goals, you'll hardly find it anywhere. What is nitrogen? Everybody talks about carbon, climate. The thing about nitrogen is it's feeding the world, whether it's biological nitrogen fixation or fertilizers, it's getting into our system. It's only something like 20% efficient. That means 80% goes to pollution. It's going to pollution of climate, N2O, pollution of watercourses, eutrophication, the air pollution in Delhi, ammonium nitrate particles are in there. It's everywhere. So we've got a real big challenge with nitrogen, and here we are, zero budget natural farming. What I'm really excited about with you guys is that you're in for transformational change. You're saying, okay, let's really make a difference. This isn't a small scale thing. And we're in for big scale change. We've launched at the Ocean Conference a commitment to support with technical work, what would it mean to have a global goal to halve nitrogen waste? That would mean a massive saving of fertilizers, a massive saving in subsidies, and of course, zero budget natural farming is one of the options of going there. As Satya says, that doesn't mean that we are completely naive. I have scientists, my colleagues, some of my colleagues say, we don't believe that. And I say, okay, well, let's work with. If we agree 80% with somebody, let's tune. And I think one of the wonderful things I like about your movement is that it's pragmatic. It's saying, let's look, let's tune, and let's evolve. For me, it's not just about farming. It's about the whole system, the circular economy. If you look at system redesign, all the nitrogen oxides coming out of all the vehicles, all the technologies focus on destroying nitrogen, convert NOx back to N2. That's a waste of $50 billion a year. Let's reinvent the system, work out how to scrub it, and reuse it. And I think zero budget natural farming is the same. So I want to finish with a small announcement. Today, the timing has worked out perfectly in the end. The UK government is announcing a £200 million launch of 12 science hubs across the planet under something not quite GCF, in this case GCRF, Global Challenge Research Fund. And the Global Challenge Research Fund is 12 hubs, 200 million. They're giving to the South Asia Nitrogen Hub 20 million. To us to work with a network of 50 different organizations. You're not in our network yet, but there's opportunities for us to develop and make those connections. And so I'm really happy to announce that at the moment and to learn together. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you. Andrew, you wanted to say a few words?
Thank you, Satya. I'll just come here briefly. Chief Minister, I met you last year at the Davos launch when we launched Zero Budget Natural Farming. And I think what excites me about this is that I work through the Natural Capital Finance Alliance, which is an association or a network of large banks, insurers and investors across the world who are trying to transform the way they invest and lend by taking natural capital into account. And a number of them, particularly pension fund investors, often say to me, Andrew, what could you do with $1 billion? And in our space of nature, that's often very difficult to answer because there's lots of money around that wants to invest in nature, to stop the car crash of nature, to stop climate change changing our planet. But where are the large-scale projects? Well, today, and Chief Minister, you are answering that question, and so is Pak Luhut, in Indonesia. These are billion-dollar scale projects that will transform agriculture and also help nature and give a good livelihood to local people. That's what we need, but much more around the world. There is a sticking point, though, which I will just dwell on for a second. To get private sector finance into these kinds of things is still very difficult. They require often de-risking mechanisms. They require the support of the Green Climate Fund. To get money to flow at scale from these large institutions, we need to prove that this can be done. And that's why these two projects are so important to work at scale. And to do that, we need to work fast because the private sector is impatient. And this is often difficult for government-related grant-giving organizations, as I know that GCF knows and many others. So to make this marriage work for blended finance, we need to increase incentives for the private sector to do it. And I'll leave you with one thought that we're not doing yet, that we should be doing, and I think, Chief Minister, this is something you might think of in your own country. We need to engage regulators. We need to engage them to create the enabling conditions, to create incentives for large-scale private sector finance to move in this direction. And there is one model emerging rather well. It's called China. Some of you may know Ma Jun, who is the architect of the green finance system in China, and they're even changing the weighting required in banks so that if you invest in green, you need to retain less money than if you invest in brown if you are a bank. This will systemically shift things towards exactly these kinds of projects. So I say to you, consider how you can engage your own regulators in the future, and I hope we will create a dialogue which will lead us towards, by 2025, a reporting framework for natural capital for the finance sector. I think that would be a great goal, and that will help to move money towards these kinds of projects. Thank you very much, Chief Minister, for your vision.
Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew. You are always inspiring. I'm never surprised to hear these words from you, but you've given us some good food for thought, which we will be very happy to bank upon both your support and guidance as we move along. With that, I will invite the Honorable Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh to say a final few words. I know that you're very busy, sir, you have to run, but any final thoughts before we close? Thank you.
Thank you, Tripati and friends. Always I'm saying I'm a student for learning. Today also, I learned so many things from all of you. My team is there. We have done reasonably well on natural farming. Everybody from there, you appreciated. I'm very happy for that. And at the same time, this is one model I wanted to promote for the global community. We are reasonably established this model. Here I need everybody's support. Just initiatives. One is, money is one. If you create wealth, automatically we can generate revenues. That is not the issue at all. But beyond that, knowledge is very important. And if you use technology in a big way, we can do very good work, especially this is a challenging work. Everybody has spoken ZBNF around health, environment, and also future happiness. So many things you have spoken. I am very happy. Now I need some more ideas and collaborations, particularly in certification. There are all different type of technologies and equipment finally, I want to go for traceability. Even it may be aquaculture, it may be horticulture, it may be livestock, it may be agriculture. That is the day we are reaching now with technology. So many breakthroughs are coming. If you bring this type of technology and also devices in a big way, it is going to help us. And also repeated organizations as to certify. And also if you do that type of certification, then credibility of the product will be established. Then consumers will have very happily, they will have a safe consumption, all these things. Second thing, marketing, so many friends are there. You are doing so many things. Marketing also is one of the important issue. If you can bring marketing network for ZBNF products, then automatically farmers will be encouraged. Thereby, this ZBNF will have a tremendous breakthrough. And also, health and also environment changes. Continuously, you have to document. We have to tell to the world, these are all the benefits, so that others will have a stimulation and also inspiration to move in the direction. Even in Andhra Pradesh, we are having excellent ecosystem. 10 million women, nowhere in the world. 1 million organization. If I give a message, tomorrow they will demonstrate, they will implement. That is the strength we are having. And also horticulture, as on today, 4 million acres of land. I want to take 10 million acres of land in horticulture. This will also help in a big way this type of ecosystem. And ultimately finance, this is one area I am requesting all of you. How to not only mobilizing finances, it is only 2.5 billion US dollars. It is not a big issue for a state government. But I want to bring everybody together. We will work together and demonstrate our strength. And also science, this is very, very important. Science behind this, you have to create documentation and corrections. It is a continuous process. Even we are going now, artificial intelligence. If you do all these things continuously, it is going to help for future also. Ultimately, new innovative ideas. I wanted to learn from you continuously, and for that, you are having a global reach. Whenever you are moving globally, you are having so many experiences, best practices, so that you can bring all these things to Andhra Pradesh. We can make it one of the most beautiful pilot, and then we can replicate very easily with all our practical problems we will overcome. This government, where I am assuring you, there is a will. We are very strong in that. So that all of us will join. It will be a wonderful experience. And ultimately, from Andhra Pradesh, we wanted to produce this model for the global community, for global change. With this, I am very happy. Next time, as soon as possible, I will meet you. Another thing, what I am requesting all of you, this Global Knowledge Center on natural farming. If you start immediately, you can join online, video conference, and then we can build this experiment, and then this will go on. Then one day it has to become one of the biggest destinations. And also we are having, you know very well, even data centers are coming in a big way. In Andhra Pradesh, 100 megawatts data center is coming, 1000 megawatts data center is coming. 4 times what we are having data centers as on today India. In one hub, it is going to come. So data is available, and also there is a practical demonstration in the field. Even lakhs of people are following. Then automatically in innovation, you can take to the last mile within no time. So that we can produce all these models and we can replicate anywhere in the world. That will be very easy. We are at your service. I need your cooperation for making this experiment as one of the most successful experiments. With this, I am thanking all of you, particularly Tripathi and all friends. My team is there. They are learning all these things. They will come back to me. They will give all ideas for execution. With this, I am thanking all of you. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Honorable Chief Minister, I just want to turn what you said at the end. You're at our service. It's actually the other way around. We are at your service because, as I say often, and the UN Secretary General also says this, what is troubling the world now is lack of enlightened leadership. Because if the leaders don't lead, as David Attenborough so famously said to the General Assembly of COP24 in Poland, he said, leaders of the world, please lead, because that's what you are not doing. And when we have leaders like you that lead, everybody in this room here, and I can tell you that most of the people in this room were not coming to Davos before I approached them, and they have traveled long distances from everywhere in the world to come and to interact with you because they feel as strongly as you feel about public health, about planetary boundaries, about planetary scale impacts. So we are with you in this all through the journey, and you can be rest assured of our humble support. Thank you, sir, and you have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.